So you know the people in Loma Linda, they're part of Seventh-day Adventists,
Right.
and they're all vegetarians. That's why there's this large community there. So,
Spiritual community.
Yeah.
That's number one.
yeah, but you know, if they drank coffee, they would live to 200 years. So,
Ah,
anyway, all right. Well, take a moment now and take a deep breath and relax. Okay. One more. Take a deep breath and relax. Okay. So now I'm going to demonstrate a vocal technique I call it harmonic singing. And what I'd like to do is just give you a brief introduction to it so that at some point you can start doing these harmonics. Okay, so I'm just going to do my thing and just think vibration, think frequency. Just see what it does to your body, if anything. Okay? So here goes. Okay, so that's harmonic singing. My technique, I think I mentioned this once before, the tube and throat singers were in San Francisco, and I went to their concert and I started to try to study with them, and so I demonstrated my technique and they said, oh, you do the California style. And I thought, you know, they're right. I don't do it exactly like the Tubans. I got my own style. And actually everybody who does harmonic singing creates their own vibration. So what's happening is that you have this fundamental tone, and then as you sing, the harmonics are always part of that tone. So using a vocal technique, I just isolate the harmonics in that tone. So I'm going to give you a real quick introduction to it, because people make voice training and singing too complicated. Very simple, okay? And I love the saying from Zimbabwe, and if you can talk, you can sing. If you can walk, you can dance. So anyway, so I like to do that because, you know, singing, there's a lot of movement involved, whether you believe it or not. But anyway, so that let's begin. You know, in the beginning was the Word, but before the Word was the breath. I always tell my students, you will never reach the full potential of your voice until you understand the breathing process. Now I've amended that to say you will never reach your full potential until you understand the breathing process. So a real quick introduction to diaphragmatic breathing. So your diaphragm is here, okay? So you breathe in and it starts to push down. A lot of people like to push the stomach out. You don't need to do that. You know, you need, and you can put your hand on your diaphragm. Now just take a breath. Do you feel that there? That's basically, the problem is that people don't breathe down here, so the diaphragm gets really tight and it's not flexible. So after a while, you start breathing into the chest, and most of the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is in the lower part of the lungs. So that's why it's important to understand diaphragmatic breathing. And all it is, I just want to go back a little bit. There's this Dr. Buteyko who introduced this breathing technique. And what he said was, you need to take in very little breath. So, one more time, take a deep breath and relax. Okay, one more time. Good straight spine. Okay, according to Dr. Buteyko, you need very little breath. So for example, when I take my breath, you see no movement, you don't see any of this. So I understand I only need this much breath to do whatever I'm doing, as opposed to, and then doing it, and it sets up a lot of tension when you do that. So the idea now, take a moment and find for yourself what I call a loving breath. And it doesn't have to be very much, and then just release it, okay? And you just find that nice cycle, as opposed to, and then release. No, you just let it flow, okay? Take a moment, really connect with your breath. That's the key. And I'm always experimenting with my breath. Sometimes I'll do it really slow. Sometimes I'll do it really fast. And there's the Iceman who does the Tibetan breathing, which is really aggressive and intense. But again, it's an exercise. So I would encourage you to begin to experiment with your breath. Now, in diaphragmatic breathing, the tendency again is to push out in the stomach. Put your hands on your side and take in a nice, gentle, loving breath. You feel that expansion there? That's what you want to feel when you breathe in. Now, I've discovered something that I want to share with you and see what it does for you. I call it the spine breath. Put your hands in the back of your spine. Now take in a breath. Do you feel any expansion there? If you don't, you should. Yeah. Okay, so the idea is that when you take a breath, and most people don't allow the expansion in the back, it's always pushing out here or here. But so you want that complete, almost that what I call the balloon breath. You want that expansion. And it doesn't take a lot of breath, but again, because a lot of times we don't breathe right, we never get that expansion in the back. So that's the ideal breath to take for me. Now there's so many ways to approach breathing. You go online and you see hundreds of teachers talking about breathing. I predict very soon, like yoga classes, you'll have breathing classes all over. It's so important to understand the breathing process no matter what you do and incorporate it in your daily regimen, okay? So now, let's do Om. I like to do Om in preparation for my sound because you got the Ah, O, M. So the Ah vibrates in the back. For me, I try to get my medulla vibrating because the medulla controls breathing. So anyway, when you do the Ah, let's just do Ah, okay? Just a nice, easy Okay, in Sanskrit teaching, the Ah resonates at the very back, okay? So now let's do the O, okay? Take a moment and just see where it vibrates. Okay, it should vibrate at the top of your hard palate. You can feel that vibration there. Now we'll do the M. So that vibrates in the front in the mask, okay? So when you do the Om, what you're doing is you're stimulating all these different places in your instrument. I call it an instrument. And like the O almost stimulates the brain part of the pituitary, and then you got the third eye on the M. So as you move through these sounds, you're vibrating in all these areas in your instrument, I like to call it. So when you do Om, let's all do Om. Okay, it's O-M, but you can just flow through it, all right? Let's do Om. Good. One more time. Sounds good. I don't know how it feels. Does it feel good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now here's the real simple trick about, or the technique about doing harmonics. You move your tongue very slowly from one vowel sound to the next. When you listen to primitive or ancient music, you always hear the vowel sound coming through. So when you do harmonics, you're basically creating these harmonics in between the spaces of the vowels. They call them formants. And it's really simple. So I'll start with my fundamental tone and with an ah, and then I'm going to slowly move my tongue toward the E. And I say slow, you'll see. So, and then when you get to the E, you just stop, okay? So for example, if I go, so you hear the harmonics in there? So as you go along in your instrument, if you take the time and go real slow, you'll begin to hear the harmonics. Okay, let's just try it, all right? We'll go from an ah to an E, and very slow. And when I say move your tongue slow, I mean slow. A lot of people go ah, E, We want that slow, flowing. Okay, let's take a moment. Take that loving breath. Let's begin. Who is that? Okay. No. All right. Now, I had a voice teacher that had me place my hands over my face like this, and to help move the sound out, into your aura and beyond. So just take a moment, and let's do the ah to the E with the hands there, and just see the effect that it might have. So, and actually, you want kind of a nasal sound if you can. Okay, how does that feel? Pretty easy, isn't it? Again, you don't want to force the tone ever. And you watch great opera singers, they'll take a breath, you can barely see them breathing. They don't take a deep breath and then belt out the sound. They take in this breath and they just let it flow out of them. So that's something you can begin to develop for your sound. Because I remember when I was in high school, I got kicked out of choir. And it traumatized me for years. I couldn't sing. But later I understood, and I said, that choir master was sadistic to do that, and he didn't do it to just me, he did it to other students. So I wouldn't sing for years, but I always felt I had that music, that sound in me. And everybody has it, you just have to develop it. I want to tell you a little story. I don't know, it's a folklore from Africa. I don't know what country or what tribe or whatever. So when a young couple gets married and the bride gets pregnant, she goes off, finds a tree, her favorite tree, and sits there and meditates and hums, sings, until she creates a song. And that song, from then on, is going to be used for the baby. Okay, so when she's born, she teaches her friend, when the baby's born, she teaches her friends to sing the song while the baby is being born. So when a baby has a certain rite of passage, when they get older, they sing that song. When that baby gets married, they sing that song. And I was even thinking, I wonder if they sing it when that person dies. Because one of the things I read recently was this guy was making out his will, and he was writing music that he wanted played at his funeral. And I thought about that. I thought, gee, most people don't play music. Oh, I mean, they play some music, but it's not like, I want this song as I cross over to be played. So I thought about that because, I've been at births of babies where they have a cello player and musicians playing, and it's a magical moment. And I thought, why don't they do that when we die,
Right.
So anyway, I think about that a lot. So one of the things about that song, I think, oh man, I wish I had a song like that. I missed out. But you create your own song. Your own song, and you use it whenever you need it. Like I used to think writing music was too complicated. It's so simple. You come from a hard place, you can create beautiful songs. So I challenge you to write your song however simple it is, and you just got to keep the faith, because a lot of people think, I'm not musical, I can't do that. Oh yes you can. I write most of my music a cappella. I don't have an instrument. So once I understood that, then I was free to do whatever I wanted with my voice. And also, sing for yourself. Play around with your voice. It's like, sometimes when you dance, you go crazy. Do that with your voice. Again, if you can talk, you can sing, you can walk, you can dance. So I thought about that the other day. It'd be great to sing and dance, and it's like ecstatic dancing. But for yourself, you don't have to dance, but just sing for yourself. And the classic is when you sing for a baby, how calming it is. It's also calming for you too. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you to develop this, again, it's frequency, it's vibration. Create your song so that when you need it, you can sing it or hum it. Take a moment now, say, I don't know. Let's do a little humming, and then I'll close. So the idea is that if you can't sing, and if you're in a situation where it might be disturbing, just hum, okay? So take a good loving breath. Let's begin a hum at a comfortable pitch. Beautiful. Again. A lot of power in your voice. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.